Good night, fellow punters. The clock on the wall says 9:33 on Thursday night, back with a few for tomorrow. First, I want to pay condolences to Stephen Pitt on the passing of his brother this morning. Little did I know when I was leaving yesterday afternoon that it'd be so fast. I knew it was going to happen soon. Delighted that I decided yesterday morning, or the night before actually, to get up early yesterday morning and head for Belfast. 4 hours up and 4 hours home, but it's something I didn't mind doing. I don't mind driving. When I'm driving, I'm thinking. Someone said that before, you should do less driving, you won't do as much thinking. So Stephen has been following the channel. He said, I think that there was 600 subscribers when he joined first, and he's been the weatherman the last few months and doing a good job. So may your brother rest in peace. But two selections, one didn't run today, and that was the one I fancied more so than the one that did run. Or did ran. Which is it? You'll tell me. I was expecting to be settled in mid-division and make a sweep and run on the turn for home. What did he do? Out in front. I knew after half a mile that my money was gone. So I don't know. I can't get it at times. It does annoy me. Why do they change tactics from what they did the last time that suited? And I don't know. And there was a horse that won there. Did any of you spot it? That won the 307 in Southall, Tortured Soul. I never spotted him last night in my tracker. We backed him twice. He was third for us when he was with Ger Lyons. First run for Tony Cardle. Drifted from 5 to 2 to 6 to 1, I see, and won. It was when I was looking for at the results there in the afternoon. I was up taxing the car in Roscommon town. I never spot him, and when the tracker results come in this evening, yeah, it's Tortured Soul first. There was also Kit Solano in my tracker, but I thought the heavy ground would go against him because the previous times he ran on heavy ground, he done nothing. It was a horse, if you remember, he went over to Cheltenham, that's the last Cheltenham meeting, and he was in the novices hurl, and he was 66 to 1 the night before, and I just said, we'll keep an eye on this because Murphy doesn't bring them too many over. He had 2 in that race, and it ran a decent race on the outside. But I thought the ground would be against him today because all his better runs, when the handbrake was on even, was on yielding or yielding to soft. And he won on there was a horse that was gambled on from 14 to 1 to 13 to 8. Eddie Cawley's horse into second. Anyway, we have a few for tomorrow. I see 2 meetings are called off. I was going through Newcastle and Sandown and Dundalk to try and get one in each. The one I come up with in this race, or in this track, is Night on Earth. It's with Ian Williams now, and it's rated 72. When it joined Ian Williams in September of 2022, it joined him at 95. So that's 23 pound. 23 pound less, 90 to 72, isn't it? I said 72, yeah, 23 pound. But he's coming to the boil, I thought, lately, and he had a decent enough run, but he was on the wrong side of the track in a 5 furlong race there at Southall when he was rated 75. The last hit in, to put him up to 6. And they blazed him out of the traps in a good class race. We had a horse in it, just called me Pete, if you remember. And this lad went out in front. at 6. He's better at 5, and it took Baldomero.
Baldomero's about to really challenge Night on Earth now for the lead. Above, just in behind, and the other 5 now all in line. Probe staying on very nicely though to challenge Baldomero. Night on Earth sticking with it nicely. Baldomero can hear Probe coming strongly on his outside. Probe picks them all up without too much fuss and wins well. Probe from Baldomero. Night on Earth.
That was a decent race, decent horses in it. And he has won at Newcastle before. He won when he was with, he's changed trainers a couple of times. He was with Nigel Tinkler first, and then he went to Mick Appleby. He won in Newcastle when he was rated 80, 11-4 favourite. So he's £8 lower this time. There's a couple of excuses, I thought, for some of them, but the only thing is he's drawn 6, so he needs to get out and get over to the rail and hope that he won't be collared. David Egan rides fairly well for Ian Williams. That's one, and then there's a good Grade 2 race tomorrow. There's only 4 in it. It's sort of red or black. Which do you pick? They're shorter in the betting, but the two of them are the two in the top of the market are Stay Away Faye, a Cheltenham winner, and Giovinco. Both rated 47. Giovinco's getting £3. Now, £3 probably isn't a lot at 3 miles. Two of them are good jumpers. Even though Giovinco unseated that 2 runs back, we were on the winner that day. Now some people say we wouldn't have won, some people say we would have won. But it was a good first outing over fences. And then he won an entry the last day. There was a lot of fences removed. I'm siding with Giovinco. I think that form is better. Stay Away Faye looked to be beaten after the last in Exeter the last day, and then rallied to beat Grey Dawning, and Grey Dawning has come out and won since. It'll be a good race tomorrow. There'll be jumping at the pond fence. So I'm siding with Giovinco. That's the only one I could get a more solid, I thought, at Sandown tomorrow. There is a 3 or a chase, but there's too many question marks about some of them, and as that horse's name there, not sure. You have Collector's Item is going wearing first time cheek pieces, and Midnight Mary beat him the last and finished second. It's a good enough race that I just couldn't. If I pick one, it'd probably be the wrong one. On to Dundalk tomorrow night. I went through all the handicaps, and I came up with one much on the same lines as the one we did last week. Not another Eagle, wasn't it? This is Harriet Eagle. It's lightly raced. Shamie Heffernan rides it for the first time. But if you look at it, it had 3 runs in maidens, 150 to 1, 125 to 1, 125 to 1. Got a rating of 69. Ran in a handicap. Ran in his first handicap in Galway. I'll show that race in a second. It's only beaten 5 lengths. But that young lad, Donoghue Leahy, riding. And then the last 2 races was that it didn't stay both times. But if we take a quick look at the race, a bit of the race in Galway, he didn't settle at all. And this was take in mind note that this was his first race in a handicap. That's him in second in the blue on the outside.
Port McGee and Fratis next to the outside of Snowhaven at the end of the first furlong. And it's Jazz Forever the Grey, just leading up on the outside, Harriet Eagle, then Rough and Tough, and in between horses Rio Largo, then Fratus, Port McGee next with Dougie's Double on the inside of Navy Beach, then Partisan Hero and Snowhaven next, White Cap of Bright Dick, and then Lisieux on the outside of Kami. Continuing up to the 5 furlong point, and it is just Jazz Forever on the inside making the turn in front of Harriet Eagle. Improving onto their heels is Fratus, then Rough and Tough, Rio Largo, Dougie's Double and Port McGee and Navy Beach next with Partisan Hero and Snowhaven and Bright Dick. Lisieux on the outside of Kami, then Sir John Monash and Rival Queen Bang Po, and Western Cape is the back marker. They've just gone by halfway, heading down into the dip in the Arthur Guinness Mile Handicap, and it's Jazz Forever and Luke McAteer holding on to a small advantage over Harriet Eagle and Robin Donoghue Leahy, being followed by Fratus, who's close up for Jamie Powell. And then Port McGee improving in the black and white is Partisan Hero, then Rough and Tough and Rio Largo next with Bang Po coming into it ahead of Lisieux. After them is Snowhaven with Navy Beach trying to stay on, and behind the wall of horses they hit the straight. And the final furlong, and Fratus comes to pick it up from Harriet Eagle. Port McGee is throwing down an effort on the outside. Dropping back is Jazz Forever, then Partisan Hero out wide. Bang Po, it's Fratus the leader. Moving on a couple of lengths clear from Partisan Hero. Bang Po, the near side Fratus will account for Bang Po. And
now, if he done what he did in the last 50 years, make an effort, he made no effort whatsoever coming around the turn for home to push on, but he was 25 to 1. But Shamey Heffron takes the ride for the first time tomorrow night. He rode one for the first time last week as well in a longer race, and he went out to the lead, and there was no bollocks with him at all. Now he's in trap 10 tomorrow night. He's 12 to 1. So I was trying for a bit of each way play. 12 to 1, they're paying 4 placed, I think. There's a good few 3-year-olds in the race. That Bright Dick, I think he's 0 for 14 or something, and Hurricane Allen. If the handbrake is off, and I'm thinking it is with Heffron up, similar to the idea last week. Now, hoping, reading between the lines. So that's that one. And then there's racing at Meydan tomorrow, and there's a listed race. There's 2 highest rated horses in it. That one was higher rated before, Freedom Fighter, but it won its first race in Del Mar in America, and it won nothing since. And it was ran in Group 3s and whatever, but it was off for a good while, and it came back and had 2 runs in the spring. But he's the favourite. But I was watching the videos someone's read. He's a bit of a plodder. He was in Rio the last time in behind the lead power, beating 50.5 lengths in Meydan before that, and he hadn't ran for a year up before that then. And there's a horse gone over, hasn't ran was with that Salium, but he's better at 7 furlongs. He hasn't ran for 448 days. I came down on Colour Up. The only one thing about it, Dougie Watson has no winner in the last 14 days. He's 0 for 11. But this has only ran 7 times, and it has won 3, and it has 2 seconds. And the last time it was seen was in a Group 3 in Meydan in the 4th of March. Goes well fresh, I thought. It'll be staying on if it's fully juiced up, and it's taking on the favourite. Colour Up 3 to 1. The other one 94 2 to 1. So that's it. Trying to use. Sometimes it works, and sometimes when you try to read between the lines and you add 2 and 2, you get 4 more times, or sometimes then you'll get 6.5. So trying as best I can to get a couple of winners tomorrow. Or a place, even for that 12 to 1 to be placed. Anyway, tomorrow there's big racing on Saturday, so I'll a video up tomorrow night. I might have no video Saturday night then. I could be busy. Bash the bookies, over and out.